When I think of how he came so far from glory, came to dwell among the lowly, such as I. There's ever shame and such disgrace. On Mount Calvary take my place. Then I ask myself this question: who am I? Who am I that a king would bleed and die for? Who am I that he would pray, not mine but thine, Lord? The answer I may never know, why he ever loved me so, that to an old rugged cross he'd go. For who am I? When I'm reminded of his words, I'll leave you never. If you'll be true, I'll give to you life forever. I wonder what I could have done to deserve God's only Son to fight my battle until the one. For who am I? Who am I that a king would bleed and die for? Who am I that he would pray, not mine but thine, Lord? The answer I may never know, why he ever loved me so, that to an old rugged cross he'd go. For who am I? That to an old rugged cross he'd go. For who am I?
Willie, Woodrow, Cruz. When Uncle Woody asked me to do this, he told me he had to school me on how to say his name. I said, my goodness, I'm not doing your hair. I'm not fixing your suit. I'm not doing your shoes. How can I possibly mispronounce your name? He said, because everybody says Woodrow. It's not Woodrow, it's Woodrow. He said, my mama named me Woodrow. And that's what you got to do. You got to say that. Now, I said, I think I could do that. And I've been practicing it every day since he told me that. I said, Woodrow. But, you know, Granny did have a way with names. Some were unusual, to say the least. And then very few of the kids were actually called by their given names. Some were known by their initials. Others were called by names not even related to their birth name, such as J.R., that was my daddy's name, and Peggy, whose name was actually Selma. She also had a way of pronouncing some of the others that made them sound entirely different, like Lula was Luler, Haywood was Hayward. So I promised I would say Woodrow and get it right, just like Granny wanted, even though I can only remember saying Uncle Woody all my life. Though I was 9 when I was removed from the Cruz clan and raised somewhere else in another clan, Uncle Woody played a major role in my life. In fact, he is the reason I was born. No, it wasn't like that. You see, my father left school when he was in the 3rd grade, and at that time, my mother had not even started school. But over the years, families with girls usually found the families with boys. You know how that works, no matter how remote the area was. And the Cruzes lived on Fiddler's Green Road in Axon, and the Morrises lived down past Fiddler's Green towards Sandy Bottom. That's a real place. Those of you from Homerville know that. As you keep on going down the road, and you will wind up in Homerville. And I've since found out that Atkinson County was and still is the 3rd poorest county in Georgia. To make a long story short, my father discovered my mother and began a courtship. My father was out and about in the county working, and my mother was at school with, guess who? Uncle Woody. My father, being mostly illiterate because he dropped out of school, not because he was dumb, but because he dropped out of school, he found a way to communicate daily with his love. That's right, Uncle Woody. He would dictate love letters to Uncle Woody, who would then deliver them to my mother at school. And presto, one strapping boy. Thanks, Uncle Woody, for my existence. But it was not all a fantasy land of romance. One did have to make a living. Now, Woody was working for my mother's father, Jesse, and Woody, my father, and my mother's brother-in-law, just let that sink in a minute and you get all the things straight, because they really don't matter from here on out. But anyway, they were hauling pulpwood for Jesse. That is a back-breaking, thankless job. And Woody said his job was limbing the felled trees. So when the trees were cut down, then you had to go along with the axe, knock the limbs off, so that the other guys could cut them up and put them on the truck. And then one day he suddenly stuck his axe into a downed tree, and he told Jesse, "This isn't for me. There's got to be something else." So began a career of something else. Woody walked back home and got his father to drive him to Waycross. Cars and things were not abundant back then, but the people of the church had bought Granddaddy a car, and he drove Woody to Waycross. And there he found a job with a grocer, which eventually led to the railroad, where he was hired building rail cars. And you had to know that he was a car man. He was really proud of being a car man. He wasn't just a carpenter or anything else like that. He was a car man at the railroad because he built rail cars. You would think that would be enough, but it was only the beginning. While working his way up at the railroad, he had many other ventures: rental property, auto salvage, a nursery, and many other things. He kept going and going from one thing to another, kind of like the ever-ready bunny. I even heard of him being on a roof when he was 80, and I found out this morning he was on several roofs when he was 80. The man just never stopped. He was always doing, always building. That was his thing, building. He loved to build. Now, I don't know a lot about all that stuff. Like I said, I was separated from the family when I was 9. But what I can tell you are some of the events where our lives crossed. Up until I left Jacksonville, I recall many times when the family got together at Aunt Peggy's there on Pulaski Road. Granny and Granddaddy still lived in the old house then. I guess these were the beginnings of the family reunions and things like that. Some folks would know better than I. The brothers and sisters got together to sing with Woody and Strick playing their guitars. And while the adults did their adult things, while the kids played in the yard, that's right, the yard. Kids do not know how to do that nowadays, but we played in the yard. It would seem that Woody was always teaching me life lessons. As I get older, it seems that I can recall events earlier in life. I don't know if other people have that same experience, but I've gotten where I can actually remember or make up. I don't know what it is. You either make it up or remember it. Things as young as 3 years old. That seems incredible, but I got some of them verified just to see if I was imagining things. But I remember a time when I saw him brushing his teeth in the bathroom at Aunt Peggy's. Privacy was a premium. You got to understand, when the Cruzes got together, there was a lot of people, and you had to share things. He took the time to, he showed me how his dentist taught him to brush and said, 2 minutes, you have to brush 2 minutes. That's what the dentist says. And I've always remembered how he took the time to teach me and to work with me and pay attention to me. Until this day, my dentist talks about my lack of cavities. At every exam, he comments on it. And for this, I owe Uncle Woody. I also remember a very sad occasion. I was the oldest cousin. I was also the only boy until Ricky Foster came along. And like I said, we played in the yard and got sweaty and nasty as only little kids could. And there were so many people at these events that you had to share, including the bathtub. It was a sad day when Uncle Woody had to tell me that the girls did not want me to take baths with them anymore. I will now not go into how he explained this, but it was an end to childhood adventures and an end of innocence. And again, it was things like this that made him memorable to me. Now, even though my sister and I were at a distance and separated from our original family, Woody never forgot us. There were times when my father did not get us for the summer that Woody would come get us. On one occasion, he even took my horse back to Waycross and let me enter a rodeo. Can you imagine a young boy who always wanted to be a cowboy getting to enter a rodeo? Now, the horse didn't know how to run the barrels, but we got around. Finally, a cowboy. There were other times that I was able to see, like I was able to see Granny before she passed. I attended some reunions that I would have otherwise missed and got to see some of the folks that are no longer with us and stuff like that. Then when I married, I believe he and Aunt Jean were the only ones on the groom's side of the church. There are many other anecdotes that can be told, such as how he was so careful about his hair, his love of dancing, his skill as a builder, and many others. I'll leave those for others that I did not have the privilege of witnessing them firsthand. I will miss him dearly. And like many of you, wish that I had only spent more time with him. He said he knew he was going to heaven, and for those of you who know Jesus as your Savior, we will see him again. One more thing. Gayla, we love you.
Yeah, me and this young man was friends for years, and you're talking about dancing. He was a fabulous dancer. He would do it and just enjoy do it, and he'd always come by me and point his finger at me, and I knew what he wanted to hear. Just that's all he had to do. And this song, the one I just did, was one of his favorite, and this song that I'm fixing to do was one of his favorite songs. I had to do this song every time he ever come, once or twice, 3 times a night, just for him. And I'm doing this for him today. I wrote this song. Though we are just friends, I often think about you. Memories of the things we've done and the places that we've been to, the times that we danced and held on to each other, linger ever in my mind. Though we are just friends, though we are just friends, you're someone very special. You made me laugh when I cried, and you held me till the tears that dried. I can't find the words to say, but in my heart I thank you. Hope this song will help convey. I'm glad that you're my friend, knowing you're my friend. Help me now make it, endure whatever comes my way. On you I can depend. Oftentimes I think, oh, I need to know you better. No matter what tomorrow brings, I know we'll still be friends. Then he would dance. Knowing you're my friend, help me now make it, endure whatever comes my way. On you I can depend. Oftentimes I think, oh, I need to know you better. No matter what tomorrow brings, I'm glad that you're my friend. No matter what tomorrow brings, I'm glad that you're my friend. He was a very, very loving person. You never seen Woody when he was not smiling. He'd always had a smile for everybody. And I love the old boy very, very much, and he will be missed.